Dear chosen one, a big tragedy is coming your way, and this tragedy can be avoided if you will pay close attention to this message. My child, I am going to tell you everything in detail about this tragedy, and I will tell you how you can safeguard yourself. My child, before the foundations of the world were laid, I saw this moment in your life. I saw the path before you and the snares that would be set along the way. I saw your steps and the strength of your heart. I saw the times you would rise in joy and the times you would tremble in fear. I saw the enemies that would be stirred against you, the confusion that would try to take root in your mind, and the shadows that would attempt to choke the light I have placed in you. This is one of those moments, one of those decisive hours. But I have not left you without guidance, and I will not leave you without a way out. I am the Lord your God, and I am with you now as I have always been. Listen carefully, my beloved, for the enemy is crafting something subtle and destructive. It is not a loud storm, but a silent drift, a spiritual slumber that lulls the soul away from vigilance. This tragedy that is forming is wrapped in a disguise. It will not appear with horns or flames. It will come through comfort that dulls your spirit, through relationships that weaken your conviction, through choices that seem harmless but carry the poison of compromise. There are people around you who do not carry my spirit, yet they speak in ways that sound wise. To be discerning, for even the enemy can wear a robe of light. They will appeal to your kindness, your desire for peace, your wish to avoid conflict. But in seeking harmony with those I have not sent, you may lose the harmony you have with me. Their words will begin to pull your mind from my truth. You will hear thoughts in your inner chamber that are not your own, whispers that contradict my word but echo your fears. Do not accept them. This tragedy is also being born in silence, in the things left unsaid, in the prayers not prayed, in the days when you say, "Tomorrow I will draw close to God." My child, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Each delay is a thread in the net that is being woven around you. The enemy knows he cannot destroy you openly, so he waits. He waits for your fire to fade. He waits for you to trust in your own strength. He waits for you to become distracted by the noise of the world, by its entertainment, by its vanity, by its endless appetite for attention. I have called you to be separate. I have not called you to walk the wide road. I have set you apart for myself. You must return to that place of consecration. The tragedy is not only a matter of physical danger or material loss, though these may come as shadows of the deeper crisis. The true tragedy is spiritual disconnection. The greatest loss is not the loss of wealth, reputation, or even relationships. The greatest loss is the dimming of your spirit's light, the loss of your awareness of me, of your sensitivity to my voice. For when the heart grows cold, it forgets the way home. And if you lose me, what remains? But I have come to warn you because I love you. This warning is not a threat, it is an invitation. My judgment begins with mercy. My warnings are expressions of my grace. My discipline flows from my desire to preserve you, not to punish you. I am speaking now so you may turn, so you may awaken, so you may be fortified before the day of testing comes, for it is coming. This test will not be like those before. It will stretch your soul. It will ask you to choose between what is good and what is almost good, and only the fire of my spirit will reveal the difference. You must return to the secret place. You must return to the altar where you first knew me. You must silence the voices that have grown louder than mine. You must fast again. You must worship not as performance, but as communion. I desire intimacy, not ritual. My child, I have seen your tears. I have watched you cry out for answers, for direction, for deliverance. I have stored each of your prayers, and none are forgotten. But know this: many of the answers you seek will only come as you obey the instructions I give now. Your obedience unlocks the revelation. Many ask to hear my voice, but are unwilling to follow my footsteps. Yet my path is narrow. My way requires sacrifice. You have been standing at a crossroads, and while the way of the world seems easier, it is a path of thorns that leads to a cliff. The tragedy ahead is the fruit of choices made in small disobediences. Seeds sown in compromise grow into weeds that choke the promise. But even now, if you will listen, I will show you how to uproot every lie and plant the truth again. Let me speak plainly to you. There is someone in your life who cannot go where I am taking you. They carry a spirit that wars against mine. They do not submit to my will, though they wear the mask of faith. Their counsel is not of me. Their intentions are not aligned with your calling. You have felt the tension. You have heard my spirit nudge you. Do not harden your heart. I am calling you to release what I did not assign to you. If you do not, their storm will become your storm. Their fall will affect your foundation. I am also calling you to guard your time. Time is a sacred currency. You have wasted too much of it on things that do not build you, on thoughts that drain you, on distractions that numb you. I have given you gifts not for display, but for purpose. And yet the gifts remain dormant when you feed your flesh more than your spirit. The tragedy comes when purpose dies in comfort, when destiny is aborted by distraction. But if you will return to discipline, I will breathe on your gifts again. My child, be careful of pride. The enemy has studied you. He knows the doors you leave open. He will not tempt you with what you already despise. He will tempt you with what you secretly desire. He will speak to the places in your heart that still seek validation, the wounds that have not yet been surrendered to me. But I am the only one who can affirm you. I am the only one who can heal you. You must lay down your image, your ambitions, your need to be seen. You must become invisible to the world so I can make you visible in eternity. Those who humble themselves before me will be lifted at the appointed time. The warning I give you now is not to frighten you, but to awaken you. You are on the edge of a shift, one that will either launch you into your next level or sink you into regret. The enemy has increased his attack because he sees what I have placed inside you. He fears what will happen if you fully surrender. He knows that if you rise, you will not rise alone, for many are tied to your obedience. Your yes will unlock chains for others. That is why the warfare has intensified. That is why the temptation is stronger. But greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. My child, have you not heard? Have you not known? I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I have not changed. My nature does not waver. My voice does not falter. My hand does not grow weak. The way I moved for my people in ancient days, I will move again for you. For I am not bound by time. I do not forget what I have done, and I do not fail to remember whom I have chosen. Look to the past and understand, see the patterns of my power, the rhythm of my redemption. Every tragedy I allowed had a purpose. Every trial became a turning point. Every valley led to victory for those who walked with me. Consider Noah my servant. In a time when wickedness covered the face of the earth and the thoughts of man were evil continually, I looked and grieved in my heart. But Noah found favor in my eyes because he walked with me. The tragedy was great, a flood that washed away generations, a cleansing of corruption. But I gave Noah the instructions. I gave him the vision of the ark. I warned him before the rain ever fell. And because he listened, because he obeyed, he and his household were saved. Do you see, my child? Destruction may come upon the earth, but for the one who walks with me, I always provide a way of escape. Look to Abraham. When the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah reeked with sin and their outcry reached the heavens, I sent my angels to destroy what had defiled the land. But I did not forget the righteous. I remembered my covenant with Abraham, and I sent warning to Lot. I pulled him and his family out by my mercy. Even when doubt and hesitation clung to them, my messengers led them by the hand. Though Lot's wife looked back and was consumed by her longing for the past, still I rescued the faithful. I always make a distinction between those who serve me and those who rebel. You must not look back, child. Do not mourn the things I am calling you to leave. What I am bringing you into is greater than what you are being separated from. My servant Joseph endured betrayal, false accusation, and prison. Yet what seemed like a personal tragedy was a divine setup. I gave him dreams as a boy, and though his journey was dark and painful, it was never out of my hand. The pit could not destroy him. The prison could not contain him. I raised him up in the very land of his suffering and used him to preserve a nation, not just Egypt, but his own family, the very ones who wronged him. Do you see, my child? Even the wrongs done to you are not outside my plan. What the enemy meant for evil, I will turn for good. But you must remain faithful in every season, even the hidden ones. When my children were enslaved in Egypt for 400 years, groaning under the weight of cruelty, I heard their cries. I saw their affliction. I remembered my covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I raised up Moses, not because he was eloquent or bold, but because he was chosen. I sent signs and wonders. I shattered the pride of Pharaoh. I covered my people while I judged their oppressors. And when the angel of death passed over the land, I told my people to mark their doors with the blood of the Lamb. Those who obeyed my word were protected. Not one of them was touched by the plague. I brought them out with silver and gold, and there was none feeble among them. I divided the sea before them. I covered their enemies in the waters. I fed them with manna. I gave them water from a rock. I was a cloud by day and fire by night. Yet they doubted. They murmured. They feared the giants in the land I had promised. And so a whole generation fell short, not because I failed them, but because they did not believe. My child, do not be like them. When I speak, believe me. When I promise, do not stagger in unbelief. For I am not a man that I should lie. If I say I will deliver you, I will deliver you. If I say you will inherit, you will inherit. But faith must walk with obedience, and obedience must stand even when fear shouts loudly. Look at Rahab the harlot in a doomed city. Jericho's walls were about to fall, yet she hid my messengers and believed their words. Because of her faith, I spared her house when judgment came. She was grafted into my people, into the lineage that would bring forth the Messiah. My mercy does not measure your past, it responds to your faith. No one is too far if they will cling to me. My. See Daniel in Babylon, surrounded by idolatry, oppression, and wicked kings. He did not bow to fear. He refused to compromise. He continued to pray even when it became illegal. I shut the mouths of lions for him. I stood with his friends in the furnace of fire. They would not bow to the golden image, and they would not burn. The fire could not consume what was refined in faith. My presence was in the flames. My glory was their shield. And even the king was humbled before me. My child, I have always defended those who honor me above all. I have always made a way where there was no way. I have always rescued the humble and resisted the proud. The tragedies you see in my word are never the end of the story. They are the backdrop against which my glory is revealed. Think of Esther, placed in the palace not for beauty alone but for deliverance. When Haman plotted to destroy my people, I had already positioned my servant in the seat of influence. She risked her life to intercede, and I overturned the decree of death. I raised the humble and brought down the proud. Even in exile, even under foreign rule, my hand preserved a remnant. Jonah fled from my call, and a storm pursued him. The sea raged, the ship was threatened, and he was cast into the deep. Yet even there I appointed a great fish not to punish but to protect. In the belly of that fish, Jonah remembered me, and I caused the sea creature to release him. I sent him back on mission, back to Nineveh, where his words brought repentance to a nation. The tragedy of disobedience became the testimony of redemption. In the days of Elijah, famine struck the land. Rain ceased at my word. Yet I fed my prophet by ravens and sustained him in the house of a widow. Her jar did not run dry because she obeyed. I multiplied what little she had. I raised her son from death. And I proved again that I am the God who provides in drought, who sustains in scarcity, who performs miracles in obscurity. I remember David, the shepherd boy, overlooked by men but chosen by me. Goliath taunted my people, and all trembled, but I had prepared a deliverer in secret places. David had slain lions and bears with my strength long before he faced the giant. He stood with a sling, not a sword, because he stood in faith. And I guided the stone. I brought down the proud and exalted the humble. Even in his failures, when David sinned, I chastised him, but I did not abandon him. His heart belonged to me. He wept in repentance, and I restored him. You see, my child, through every age I have acted in justice and mercy. I have revealed myself not only in deliverance, but in discipline. For those I love, I correct. I do not allow my children to drift into destruction without warning. The fire is not always wrath, sometimes it is refinement. Sometimes I shake what can be shaken so that what is eternal remains. I sent my prophets Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel to cry out to a rebellious people. Some listened, many did not. And yet even as judgment fell, I always preserved a remnant. I always gave a glimpse of hope. I always spoke of restoration beyond exile. I always promised a return, a rebuilding, a new covenant. And in the fullness of time I sent my Son, the Word made flesh. He walked among the broken, the sick, the outcast. He healed, he delivered. He taught the truth of my kingdom. He faced the greatest tragedy of all, the cross, betrayal, mockery, pain, death. The sin of the world laid upon him. And yet, through that tragedy came the greatest triumph. Through death came life. Through wounds came healing. Through the cross came the crown. My child, this is who I am. I take the grave and make it a garden. I take ashes and make them beauty. I take your weakest moment and birth your greatest testimony. Now hear me again, chosen one. The tragedy that draws near is not unlike the ones of old. It carries the same spirit to divide, to deceive, to destroy. The enemy still walks as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. But he may not devour you, not if you abide in me. He may not sift you, not unless you open the door through disobedience or indifference. That is why I speak with urgency. That is why I call you now. I do not delight in destruction. I find no joy in seeing my children fall. But I will not withhold discipline when it is necessary to save your soul. Remember, tragedy without me leads to despair, but tragedy with me becomes transformation. It is not the storm that defines you, it is who you become through it. If you stand firm, if you anchor in me, this tragedy will be turned. It will not break you. It will become the very thing that sharpens your spirit, strengthens your faith, and unveils your purpose. Just as I preserved Noah, I will preserve you if you build what I command. Just as I saved Lot, I will save you if you separate when I say to separate. Just as I lifted Joseph, I will lift you if you remain faithful in every season. Just as I delivered Israel, I will deliver you if you trust me completely. Just as I stood with the Hebrew boys in fire, I will stand with you if you refuse to bow. Just as I raised Jesus from the dead, I will raise you from every grave of fear, failure, and bondage if you abide in me. You are not alone. You have never been. My angels surround you even now. My spirit is whispering, correcting, confirming. You must walk in discernment. You must separate from every voice that leads you astray, from every attachment that drains your soul. This is your hour to arise, not in pride but in power. Not by might, nor by strength, but by my spirit. You will see the enemy try to confuse your mind, divide your relationships, dry up your resources, attack your body, and distort your perception. But if you remain in me, none of these will prosper. You will stand while others fall. You will speak when others are silenced. You will shine when darkness deepens. But you must cling to me with everything. There is no middle ground anymore. I am the same God of Genesis and Revelation, the beginning and the end. I hold your times in my hand. I number the hairs on your head. I count your steps. I weep with you and rejoice over you. I sing over you in the night. I am not far off. I am nearer than your breath. You must return to your first love. You must worship again in truth. You must believe me again as a child believes. There is still time. The tragedy can be averted, or if it comes, it can be overcome. You choose. not by emotion, not by chance, but by the daily decisions of your heart. Will you obey me when it costs you? Will you stand when you are tired? Will you forgive when it hurts? Will you trust when it is dark? These are the things that shape destiny. I have said what I have said. I speak not to inspire only, but to instruct. Let this word be written on the tablets of your heart. Do not forget. Do not delay. My Spirit will remind you, strengthen you, and walk with you. You are chosen. You are mine. I am the Lord your God. Now go forward in my strength. The future is in my hand, and so are you. Amen.